Hello everyone, I'm Havoc and this is Factorio Space Exploration Plus. Again, I have been quite busy off camera. I have expanded a good bit and I'll walk around and I'll show you everything, but the big change would be what you see on the exterior. I decided it was high time to claim lots of land before the time of evolution has had an effect. So I went out, I massacred biters and expanded greatly and built a wall all the way around with radars. And each section of wall is fed every so often with these little depots, which I've got to go fill that one up with some ammo here shortly. But they run down the conveyor belt. It's fed in. Each one only gets a handful. It looks like 10 is what it puts in each turret at a time. And that runs all the way around and blocks off till we hit bodies of water. And if you look, my pollution cloud used to be about this big, the center of what's now heavily polluted, but it has spread greatly, which is what prompted me to start going out and claiming land as soon as possible. And there is one thing I need to check over here, and that is if this is shallow water that allows the bugs to walk across. If it is, I'm going to have an issue right over here, as I have not yet put defenses there. And, you know, I'm probably going to go do that here in just a second before I forget and move on to another topic and then get overrun by the bugs because I didn't notice they were sneaking in. But I'll go over a few of the changes that we made here and there, and let's do that. We can get rid of pollution. Well, the pollution showing, not get rid of it. But I'll use the map to move around rather than me. So we were making more than we needed in the form of inserters and belts. In fact, twice as many as we needed, and we only had 10, so I went ahead and expanded it and doubled what we produce in red and green sciences, so that, you know, I was like, hey, I have the production, why not use it and make my science very, very fast. Same thing down here. I had 20 labs, now I have 60 labs, and I can take advantage of every single one of these. And as you can see, I've already run military science down here. I had to ramp up a large military area. Let's walk over there. In order to claim all the land that I did and build the nice wall all the way around. So I built an area here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, and what that does is each one of these produces 1 per second. So I get 6 regular ammo firearm magazines per second, and that comes down, and then I have the piercing rounds. Piercing rounds take 3 seconds to craft, so you need a lot of them. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're producing 2 a second. So I'm producing more of these rounds than I really need. I could probably take a couple of machines out and be all right, but I'll leave it. There's no reason not to. I may end up expanding this further if I need more ammo production. But my piercing rounds are produced and they come over here, and what I do is that goes on to science, but I use a splitter so that half of what I produce when I'm running science will run to the science, and the other half will come over here to a buffer chest that I can grab out of, and I do need to grab out of this because I'm going to have to refill. Let's not grab so many though. That'll probably be fine. But what this does is if I'm running science, this inserter won't snag every single ammo that tries to go by and starve my science labs. And I do the same thing over here with the grenades as they're coming out. I have a splitter, so half of it goes over here to a small surplus of grenades, and the other half will continue down the line. Now obviously, when the surplus is full, 100% goes down the line to science. Or, other way around, when the science is full, 100% of what you produce goes over and goes into your surplus. So either way, this is a really good method, and I don't recall ever seeing anybody that I know do this. So might be an original idea from me. I say that, then I'm sure someone somewhere else has done it, but I haven't seen it, so it's original for myself. This is my lovely little military area, and you saw I got walls, grenades. Oh, and right in here I snuck in turrets. I just brought in some motors and gears down here on their own little belt, snuck them through, and I build turrets right in here. And I'll need a few of these as well. But that gives me military science as well as the military means to go forth and slaughter and expand my borders. But I've got a pretty decent amount of space going now. This should be enough until I can get to where I'm making atomic artillery, and then I will go and I will wipe the map of red dots and expand even more then. But for now, this should be good. Oh, also, something I did is expanded my motor production over here. Made it twice as big as it was, and I mirrored my electric motors over here so that we get even more of them out, because I ended up building a mall so I can have everything I need at a glance. I got belts, underground, splitters, you got inserters, yellows, fast longs, some pipes and undergrounds. I even automated the nanobot ammo because I was using an absurd amount of it. And I actually need to drop off small power poles. I've been going around the base and picking up all small power poles I can and upgrading them to medium and coming in here and throwing it back into this thing. But also along with that is I went around and I upgraded all the assembly machines from this version, just assembly machine 1, to assembly machine 2s, which I have built right here for me, and I have miners built. And this little mall, obviously it doesn't have everything you need, but it's got what I need right now for expanding. And that's what we're going to need to do. I actually need to look at my power. It's not looking bad now, but I'll tell you why, and that's almost nothing is running. You'll see there's just a handful of machines and inserters that run right now. And if I turn on some research and everything gets churning out, my power starts to become a problem. And we're about to expand and try and move into blue sciences, and that's going to require a whole lot of things. And first and foremost on that is going to be more power. So we're going to look at going up there and making what we need to get more power going. So I need to grab a handful of things. I need iron gear wheels, electric motors, and lots of iron plates to make the engines themselves. I can grab a lot of that right here. Iron gear wheels I have right here. Let's see. Should be. Let's take a look over here. Let's see. What do we have in this? 40 boilers, 80 steam engines. So that's what I need. I didn't just accidentally. I swapped to the deconstruction planer at the last minute, didn't mean to. So I had to make sure I'm not deconstructing anything. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that will give me 40 of the boilers. Now I need a lot of steam engines. So we're going to grab what we need to make 80 of these. And you know, I don't need so much iron plate. No, I need even more iron plate. Alright, well, and iron gear wheels. And then I'm going to need some pipes, but I already have the pipes being made for me, so that's not a big deal. I don't need any more. I've got probably too many electric motors now. $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $75, and oh no, don't make all the gear wheels. We're already making them on the bus. And that should be 80. Now I will need another couple of offshore pumps. And then our pipes, I believe, oh, inserters. I'm almost out of inserters. Here I am trying to make sure I've got everything. You get so used to logistics bots later on in the game, and they just bring you everything that you want. You tell them, hey, I want to keep 100 of these at all times, and when you start using them, they bring more to you. And it's absolutely wonderful. And we'll get there soon. But we can come right up here. Did I actually make a blueprint out of that? I'm going to do something along the lines of this. And then minus the radar at the end. So here's where we got to reroute what we got going on over here. Bring that. And we're going to remember to do the output priority left this time. Just placing belts everywhere. There we go. I didn't grab any pipes. That's okay. I'll make a few while I'm here. And let's head up through here and let our bots just do their thing. And this will handle our power issues for a while. We're going to double our output here, which... Why are we not getting that there? Which is going to be significantly better. Am I just out of range to get that? Is that what this is? That's what it was, okay. And I'm missing a few of these lights. Looking at it and trying to figure out why the bots aren't placing things like I want them to. There we go. And none of this is going to work till we hook up the power. Will that reach? No. So I need one in between. Looks kind of messy. I'm going to swap that out. I have large power poles, actually. So that's what we're going to do. I'll put one right here. Get rid of all these nasty things and do that. We're flowing through here, and you can see, like I said, with the prior output, it's going to move 100% of the fuel up until that fills up, and then it'll continue flowing. And I have some here with me. Now I just need to get water over here, and we'll be good to go. I want to have a nice straight edge to collect the water from over here. Give it some power. And there we go. And you'll see them start to kick on and produce wonderful power and mass amounts of pollution. Eventually we'll get into solar panels, but there. Now, even with things running, I should not have any issues. So what I'm going to do here is run over and put some fuel, not fuel, put some ammo over in our walls, make sure they don't get breached anytime soon, and I will be right back. Alright, and we are back. So, I did run around to the walls and restock the ammo. I checked this point over here. You can't actually cross this little section. This kind of looks like shallow water, but it is not. I think it's a frozen ocean or whatnot, but you still can't transverse it. So there's no threat from that little point. I didn't bother covering it. But everything else is restocked and ready to go. So now that we know that we're safe, we can move forward with the next thing. And I'm wanting to get into blue science. So in order to get there though, I need red circuits, which is going to need plastic, and I need sulfur. Those things require us to start getting into oil. So what I need to do is make some pump jacks and the such, go pick what oil we're going to do, and claim it. Let's see, we've got some close right here. I may just start with that, come down, and maybe do our oil refining right here, very close by. So how many is this that I need? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is what it looks like to me. I need 10 pump jacks. Just going to require a few things. Let's go ahead and grab our pipes. I know we're going to need plenty of those. Some steel, some gears. What are we missing? More steel. Alright. That should be 10 of those. I'm going to want some pumps to pressurize the system and some storage tanks. Now, actually, there's this pressure tank here I've never used. We're going to try it out. We'll make a couple. I've never played with the Angels add-ons mods, so I'm not sure what it does. But it looks like it's got a massive amount of storage. It says volume 350,000. These are only 25,000, so it's more than 10 times a normal tank. And I probably want a few more long power poles so that I can run power out to there, and some lights to see what's going on. We're going to swap over to our termite bots here as we head out here, and this will help us uncover the oil nodes themselves, because a lot of times I got trees and stuff growing over them like they have right here. But we will take care of that with our wonderful termite nanobots. This should pretty much be the area that I need to clear right here. And you can see we're starting to get hit now on our wall. Swap over to the other bots and clear the rocks. Okay. I usually use a lot of underground piping so that it's easy to walk through. With space exploration, you have squeak through. It's part of the package, which means I can do this and just walk right through pipes. But it's also a visual thing for me. I like seeing the undergrounds. And I'm going to throw these power poles down all over the place. It's going to look awful for now. You're almost never going to be up here looking at this. So I think we'll survive with some horrendous looking power poles. Oh, I got that one aimed in a bad spot. That should have hooked everything up. Now let's look at this. Where does this go? Is that going to connect? It did. Okay. The visuals on it are really nice. I like that. Okay, and then we're going to, actually I want to pump into it and pump out of it to pressurize the system. So we're going to drop one of those down and make sure that it is powered. And we're going to pump out of it as well. And I just need to run this over to where I have power. Oh, and of course I run right into a forest. It's okay. I'd never played with the nanobots before I started space exploration, and I don't know if I'm ever going to play without them now. Like, everyone that plays Factorio understands that trees are the true enemy. The biters are not a problem. Trees are the enemy. I mean, I get it. They help clear the pollution and all, but they're such a hassle. They're worse than cliffs. And they're hard to clear out. Alright. So how are we doing now? Oh, she's filling up. She's filling up good. Yeah, so it holds 350,000 crude oil in that tank. That is a little bit crazy, but I like it. So now we need to look into, where is the refinery? Right here. I need glass for that. That's interesting. Well, the good news is I've already been making some sand in order to make concrete, and it looks like the concrete is backed up. So we're just gonna snag off of this line and throw down a few furnaces. We'll do 8. I don't even know if I'm making enough sand to supply this amount, but we're going to check and see. Do that and save a power pole. Now I need to get fuel into these things. And I think what I'm gonna do here is just cheat and put down. So I say cheat. What I mean is I'm not going to bother running fuel all the way up here. It's a bit out of the way, and I'm not going to need that much glass just yet. I'm going to need a lot of glass later on, but I'll make a more permanent setup for that later. Right now I just want to still some fuel, and I don't know why I ran all the way down there when it comes in right up here. That should be plenty. That's going to make us a lot of glass there. Making landfill up here too. A little bit of everything that I need. Nothing is a permanent build just yet. Well, in Factorio, nothing is a permanent build, but nothing is how I'm going to keep it for a while just yet. All of this will be moved around and changed. But I needed concrete for the big power poles, so I had to do a whole setup to get to concrete. Because thanks to AAI, they require concrete, iron sticks, copper cable, and steel. And I got a little bit of that concrete stuff now. Alright. Yeah, now we're going. We're getting glass in. So while that's running, we can look at the other ingredients that are necessary. And that's going to be electric motors, lots of steel, stone bricks, lots more pipe. Okay. I'm probably good on the pipe, but we will grab a few anyways. That's a bit too many for the undergrounds for now. So Power poles. Get some of those going. I'm going to make a few more of these tanks. I like these really large storage tanks. And I need a lot of steel for that. Just come right down here and grab a bunch off the line because I'm going to need steel for a little bit of everything. Stone bricks. I have some of those thrown in a chest somewhere because I grabbed too many when I was ripping up lines and moving. I think it's right here. There we go. Now we're just looking at electric motors. It's funny how a moment ago I thought I had too many in my inventory. Now we're waiting on glass, which I have making. Let's see, how many refineries am I going to be able to get is the question. Not get, how many am I going to be able to fuel, run with the amount of crude oil that I'm producing up here? I'm also going to need, I have water right here. I'm going to have to run some of that water up here to where I start processing the crude oil. And I need to clear out the trees, so I need to grab a few more nanobots. It is wonderful just having the nanobot ammo made for me. Just gonna make as many refineries as I can, and we'll run up here and figure out what I'm producing here shortly. 34.7, 49. We're making several hundred per second. Let's just say 50 and 35, 55, 45, 40, 75. Yeah, so right here is over 300. Then we've got another 80, but those two, 60 and 45, or 55 and 45. So we have kind of roughly like 500 per second. So we can figure out what we're going to consume here. This is going to consume 100 crude oil in 5 seconds. So 20 crude oil a second. Holy moly. So I can make a lot of these. Many, many more than I have the resources in my pocket to make right now. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to come in here and we're going to set up an expandable blueprint. And I will add to it later as necessary. But this will get us going. Then I need to plug water into that. So I need to come over here and get water run. I'm probably going to run it next to my power poles because yes, I have it right over here. I'm just decimating all the trees that as I'm running by them. Don't mind me. That should be somewhat close, so let's run this direction now. Okay, that gets our water and our oil over here. We need to power it, like so. Now this is only producing petroleum gas to begin with, but we're going to end up getting more ingredients than that. So I'm going to set up my blueprint to handle the extra ingredients. That way when I get ready to do that, all I got to do is come in here and change the recipe. And I already made a mistake. There we go. this will allow me to have a easy time of changing this later. Now I can just blueprint that and expand it like so. And let my bots do their thing. How many more of these? I have 8. Don't know why I'm cutting down trees by hand. What's wrong with me? Use what's at my disposal. So now we need to look at this and see. This is going to make 90 petroleum gas every 5 seconds. And a pipe can only handle 100 a second. So if you do 90 and divide it by 5, rough math is what, 16? 17, somewhere in there. I could do the calculator, but I'm not that worried about it. So we shouldn't, oh, didn't finish it. This is how many? 12. So it's going to be, it may overflow the pipes. If this is running at maximum capacity, our pipe won't be able to handle the throughput. But that's okay. This is going to be producing a lot of stuff for us. What we can do is we can split it halfway too. We can figure out at what point we're overfilling the pipe and split it. But this is all going to change when we change the recipe here, so that wouldn't be the wisest thing to do. All I want to do is start building up a stockpile of our petroleum gas. So now that we're making that, we can come down and figure out we need chemical plants to make plastic and sulfur and lots of other things. So now we've got to get into making these, and what do they need? More glass, steel, stone bricks. Almost identical. No, it is identical. It's just different amounts. Same amount, same type of resources as the refiner, different amounts. And I need steel and electric motors. And then I'm going to have to run some coal up there and some copper and iron up there as well. Let's grab these. Here's some more steel. Need to grab a little bit of everything and some electric motors. I'm going to need a lot of these chemical plants. So, what am I crafting? Pipe. I should not be crafting pipe by hand. I have that automatically made right up here. Okay, now that can go and we can set up our build over here. I want to leave myself some space to do cracking and other things, so I'm going to put another pump coming out of this, and then we're going to do some undergrounds. I should have grabbed those while I was there. Thankfully I'm doing this pretty close to the base, so it won't be a big ordeal. We'll just grab them all. I'm going to be using lots of them. And we're going to stop right about here and then start our chemical plants. So I'm going to need to do sulfur and plastic. Plastic's super straightforward, doesn't require water, so we're going to put it further down the line. The one that does require water is our sulfur. So what we're going to do is a little something like that. Then this is going to unload sulfur. another one down. We can do 2 at a time in the blueprint. Now, how much does this produce? 2 a second. I'm probably going to want a lot of these. And it's going to use 30 petroleum gas a second per. So we need to look at that and figure out how much we're making up here, which is, what was that? We said 17 or 18 a second times 12. I'm going to grab a calculator and move that off screen here. Alright, so let's just do the math. 90 divided by 5 is 18 per second, okay? And that times 12 is giving me 216 petroleum gas a second. So I want to make sure that most of that is dedicated to our plastic production and only some of it to our sulfur, because we only really right now for sulfur we're only going to need what, 1. Let's see, so if it takes 2, it makes 2 and it takes 24 seconds. So if I want 2 a second, I need 12 of these labs and I need 12 sulfur a second, right? No. 6 sulfur a second. Okay, so this is making 2, 4, a third one will make 6, and we're just, for good measure, we're going to simply double it up. Wait a minute, I did that wrong. I don't want all this in it, because I want to do that right there. And this will produce more than we need by 2 per second, but that is okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to run it like so, and that gives us lots of sulfur output. After we power it, we're going to drop a large power pole there. And then we need to bring water in. Good news is we already have a line running right over here to connect to off to the left. And there we go. Now, I want to run a different line, a dedicated line of the petroleum out for our plastic. And what that's going to do for us is it's going to prevent an issue like I was talking about, where the pipes can only handle a certain amount per second going through them. And I don't want to run into throughput issues, so I will take out of 2 sides of this and take advantage of this full pipe that we're running here to make plastic. But I think we're getting kind of close to the time that we're going to run over, so we're going to stop here. I'm going to do some of this offline, and I will get back to you guys in the next episode and show you our production lines. Take care. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.